everyone, here is the screencast for Apostrophes 5.2. I went ahead and pre-filled the top 6 boxes. I hope you are continuing to do this because it's that repetitive writing that helps to cement the rules of apostrophe use into your long-term memory. That's why it shows up on all of these worksheets, right? So again, to show possession, we use an apostrophe S after a singular noun or any other noun that does not end in S. So that's singular nouns like Jimmy and school, as well as a plural noun like children. To show possession, use an S apostrophe if a plural noun ends in S. It's a little bit wishy-washy about whether or not you do it with a singular noun that ends in S, but that's something that we'll talk about a little bit later. We can use apostrophes to make contractions. Again, remember that idea or that image of it being a surgical scar to show something's been removed. We do not use apostrophes when we are working with possessive pronouns because the possessive pronouns are already possessive. Here are some peculiar rules about apostrophe usage. One is if 2 or more people share possession of something, you use an apostrophe S with the last person's name, like Steve and Lisa's apartment. If each person individually possesses something, then you need an apostrophe with each person's name. Okay? So we're going to move on to our practice exercises. The first one, we just need to create possessive phrases. So in this case, we have the time cards of the workers. Workers is plural, so is time cards. So it's going to become the workers' time cards. Plural workers, S apostrophe. Number 2, the events of the day. It is one day, so it's the day's events. Number 3, the book belonging to Jess. Here is where that rule this one, to show possession, use an S apostrophe if a noun ends in S. The exception to the rule I will show you here. So the word Jess is singular, but it's 2 S's. And so because it already has 2 S's, this one we'll just add an apostrophe, Jess's, because having 3 S's in a row looks really messy. But if we're talking about James, James only has 1 S. So theoretically, you could have James apostrophe or James apostrophe S. Both would be correct. From my standpoint, I like the S apostrophe just because it looks cleaner. So for number 3, Jess's book. And it would be Jess's book or Jess's books. It wouldn't matter how many books she owns. Jess is a singular noun. So ending in S, it gets an apostrophe at the end. Number 4, the land owned by Jenna and Ralph. They own it together. So it becomes Jenna and Ralph's land. Okay. Then number 5, the books belonging to the students. Students is plural. So it is students, S apostrophe, books. All right. Then we need to look at number 6. The question being asked is, which version is the best? Explain why. So we have 5 different versions. Despite its inferior quality, the speed of fast food has replaced the home-cooked meal. So we have a phrase opener that ends with a comma. The speed of fast food has replaced the home-cooked meal. That looks okay. And the its is correct as well, right? Because it's the possessive its. Despite its inferior quality. Well, that's wrong. Putting a period there is wrong because that becomes then a fragment. So it's not B. C. Fast food, despite its inferior quality, has replaced the home-cooked meal. Ooh, I like that. This is an interrupter. It is punctuated correctly. That could be a possibility. Despite its inferior quality, comma, fast food has replaced the home-cooked meal. This one is a lot like A, but what I like better about this one than A is that in A they say the speed of fast food has replaced the home-cooked meal, and I don't think the sentence means to say that the speed has replaced the home-cooked meal, and I like C better, so I'm going to take A out of the running. And then letter E, fast food has replaced the home-cooked meal. Ooh, see, here's a fragment, so it's not that. So we are left with C and D, and rereading through them, I notice that D is using an incorrect its. They're using it is there instead of the possessive, so it can't be D. So our correct answer is C is the best. All right, there you go.